Hello, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube Live. Good afternoon. My name's David Mulligan. This is on my channel on all these different platforms. This is Working Lunch with Liam. Started this into early lockdown back in March just to fill the day, to be honest with you. And it's grown to us having some fantastic guests and some great tips and tricks about business and about life and how to survive in this COVID era. Got loads of guests lined up for the next few weeks, so make sure you keep checking on the channel, wherever that may be. Add, subscribe, whatever. This week, I have a fantastic guest, someone who I interviewed, maybe 12 months ago, maybe more now, at a bit of a corporate event. Someone who I've kept in contact with for quite some time, just to keep up to date on his business and the events that he's attending. David, we're going to bring him onto the stream now. Good afternoon, David Burgess. How are you? What a handsome man.
Oh, thanks, mate. You too. Loving the beard, by the way. Is that since you see me with mine? Was it? Yeah. Is that pretty?
You inspired me to. He's going to get a chop, I think, this weekend. To be fair, 'cause it's getting a bit much. But you've got a lovely head of hair there, mate, and you've got kids as well. It's not fallen out yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it is at the top there a little bit. Yeah, it's going there. So I'm just holding it in as much as I can. When I start getting the next, then that's when it's getting shaved off, like you.
Good.
I look like a bit of a when I've got a skinhead. So.
Where are you today? I know you're based in Merseyside. You're still based in Merseyside?
Yeah. So I'm in Liverpool, Netherlands. And I'm in my office at the moment. That's my vision board, which you can see there with all the things which I'll be manifesting. That's me on the front cover of Switch Onto Business magazine and all that. So, yeah.
Well, that's a great first intro to a question. I mean, you've got a vision board there because, of course, not only are you a great magician and entertainer.
Sorry, that's just letting me know why I'm spending money.
That's all. Yeah, there's nothing left in it. Not only are you a great entertainer, great magician, but it's a business as well because, of course, it's a business chat. So, what did your mood board incorporate then?
So that's just all things which I want to do manifest when in like the future and stuff and so. Because that's my second one. So I had one previous to that, which I manifested quite a few things on there. And all the vision boards is for people who don't know what a vision board is. It's basically, if you don't believe in it, it's fine. It doesn't matter because it's each to their own. All that.
Yeah, of course.
You've got your conscious mind, which does everything, and you've got your subconscious mind, which does everything. So while I'm speaking to you now and I'm doing this with my hands, I'm not doing that on a conscious basis because if I had to, I'd have to tell my brain to make sure I put the board to that finger, to pull that tendon, to pull the finger down, and your brain would just go. Pff. So what a vision board does is it actually helps you to your subconscious mind will constantly see that, and if you meditate on it and other things, then they do eventually come in. And you don't say where's my money, and then expect it because then you've got an attachment to it. You just put it out there and then expect it to come, but don't try and figure out the details of when or where and when, but it will come eventually.
Brilliant. Have you always had that then? Have you always been had that thought about how to build your business? You know, have you always, right from a young age, you've always put stuff out into the universe and it's I hoped it's happened? Yeah,
well, when my dad, it stems from my dad because my dad's always said, "Don't worry about money, it'll come good if you just put it out there." And he always has, because what we do is we, especially obviously with the COVID situation, which we said we'll come on to a bit later, is it's like if you worry about something or not having something, what you do is you attract more of what you don't want. So I'll do a little exercise with everybody. If you close your eyes while you're there now, and I don't want you to think of a white polar bear, and then all you'll do is you'll tell yourself, "Oh, don't think of a white polar bear." And you, in the minute, telling yourself not to think of a white polar bear will make you think of a white polar bear. And then it works the same way as if you say, "Think of a white polar bear," because you won't be able to think on it. You'll be thinking, "Oh yeah, white polar bear, oh, what am I having for me tea?" But then when you say the word "don't," the brain doesn't understand the command "don't," it just understands the command "polar bear, think of." So if I say, "Whatever you do, don't think of a pink pig," You just got to think of a pink. You can't help but think of a pink pig. So
clever. So you're into your kind of psychology. I mean, how much of there is there must be a lot of psychology in magic and being a performer.
Yeah. So I've only just. I'm actually a qualified NLP, which stands for Neuro Linguistic Programmer, Timeline Therapy and Hypnosis Practitioner, and I'd done that course back in 2018, and I'd done it for myself really, just to see what it was all about. And it's very powerful of how language and how the brain actually works, and how easy it is to convince the subconscious mind, which deals with everything, that what the suggestion you're giving. It's basically what like the likes of Derren Brown uses. He uses a lot of word usage. For example, when he filmed himself on stage, he says, "I'm hammering the page 9 of the Daily Mail into his nose," and he actually said that, but your conscious mind seen the nail and said a 9-inch nail, and that's all you heard because your brain deleted the page 9 of the Daily Mail. And then when he videoed it, he was videoing it, and then when he played the video back, all the audience were like, "Oh, what?" And even I was like that, because this was before I'd done my NLP, and I was like, "Oh my God, he actually said that, what?" And then it's amazing, and that's how powerful words are.
Clever. So take us back to the start. Doing your profession, being a business person, has it always been your dream, your goal? Take us right back to the start. You know, where you came out of school, college, whatever it may be.
Okay, so I came out of school, and I've always done magic. Got a Paul Dangle set when I was about 6 years of age.
Oh yeah.
I actually got to meet it when I was 19, because I went on a program called Channel 4's Faking It, where I was actually picked to be one of the magicians against the faker. But then I've been into sales. My background's actually sales, so I've had every form of sales training under the sun. So I've been a car salesman, door-to-door canvasser, everything. But they haven't really gelled. And I've done my magic in the sales. I've like incorporated it to build rapport and everything. And then my very last sales job, which what brings me to yourselves here today, is I was selling water coolers, and because I hadn't hit my target for 3 months, and I was going in building rapport, because they've either already got one, so they're contracted in, or they're only a one-man band, so they say, "I've got a tap there, mate, so why am I going to pay 400 quid for a water cooler plus £10 per water when I've got a tap?" And especially in Liverpool, you can imagine the comedian banter which you had, and so unfortunately, like anything, you're targeted in sales, and so they said, "We're going to have to let you go." And my wife was 6 months pregnant with our baby girl, Amelia, who's now 3.5. And I turned to my wife and said, "You know what? I think this is a sign that I need to do my magic full time." To which, obviously, she turned around and said, "Oh, yes, darling, that sounds an amazing idea." No. Oh, I've been trying. Yeah, that didn't go like that. There was lots of expletives, worry and stuff. But I got paid a month's wage, so I knew that I was safe. I had to make work. And just shy of 3 years later, I'm still here.
Here you are. So, do you have a dim view of the world of sales now, or are you, because it's a certain element to your business now must be selling yourself, which is easier than water coolers?
Well, when people say I'm not a salesman, you're all a salesman. So Liam, are you thirsty right now?
Yeah, I am actually. Yeah.
Okay. Would you like me to make you the best cup of tea in the world?
Please.
Here you go. I've just sold you a cup of tea. That's literally, because people think, "I'm not a salesman." Well, yeah, because you've sold the person on the idea of having a cup of tea. So you're a salesperson. So regardless of whatever you do, you're either being sold to or you're doing the selling to. So it's always there. And I do miss the sales industry. I miss the car industry particularly, because I used to sell to people how I wanted to be sold to, not your stereotypical pushy. Because that's when people hear the word sales, they think like sleazy and dirty and conniving. But it's not the way I done it. But there are some people like that. But it's like anything, you can have that in any industry which you're in. But yeah, so the sales is still a big part, because obviously selling yourself's the hardest thing though. It's ridiculous. It's like my prices now are because I'm like the high end magician, but getting there and then believing in yourself and the ability you're gonna give, it does take time to build that up and the confidence.
So what's been your biggest challenge then, starting from being self-employed up to now? What have you found the bits that you thought, I'm just not either good at that, or I need extra work on it, or, what was your biggest challenge?
So my biggest challenge when I first started was my paperwork side of things, like keeping my diary organised and stuff like that. Because when I was going through school, I found out that I was actually dyslexic when I left college. So I was thrown into all the lower sets because I'm 35 now. So it was like, you were classed as the class clown and stupid when I wasn't. I just had a different way of learning. And also I've done a test and I've actually got ADHD as well, which I didn't realise, which is a type, which probably explains why when I'm in like, conferences and other things like that, although I want to be engaged, if it's not like visual part, auditory part, kinesthetic, I tend to just like glaze over and just can't, although I'm not wanting to, it's just the way my brain works. But what people do is they tend to put you in little boxes like, oh, you're in the dyslexic box, or you're in this ADHD box, or you're in this Asperger's box. And it's not. We've all just got different ways and different patterns of doing things, which we're all perfect just the way we are. We just need to stop categorizing ourselves in these boxes. And so my biggest challenge was getting organized with those type of things. And the learning of the tricks and stuff is great because you can do that off DVDs and other magicians and stuff like that. But then I've got met Jane, my PA.
Okay.
From Pink Spaghetti. And she's really good. And she basically just helps me now with my paperwork side of things, because as you know yourself, Liam, when you've got things which you're not necessarily not good at, but stuff which isn't you don't enjoy doing, and somebody else that's their thing, that's their bag. If I didn't enjoy radio or presenting, it's your bag. I'd be like, yeah, Liam, can you do this for me, because that's your thing. But if you're not into magic, you'd say, David, could you teach me this, or could you do that, because that's my thing? And I'd be like, yeah, go on. And that's just the way it is, and it's not a bad thing to do that. You can just basically just hand it off to somebody, if you can obviously afford to do that. But when you're first starting out, until you get to that level where you've got the money coming in to be able to afford to get those people in to do the jobs which you don't like, which aren't doing you any good, you do it anyway because you're hating it. So it's not something which you're passionate about. So you just pay them to do it.
Good. So we know each other through social media as well as interviewing you previously, and you were building up, from what I can see as an outsider, building up to some fantastic gigs. You were all over the shop, and then do you know what happened? March happened, and this pandemic happened in early March. Take me back, your initial thoughts, because you obviously you've got to be in person quite a lot to your gigs.
Yeah.
Down. What were your initial thoughts at that time?
So initially, like everybody else, I thought SHI won't repeat the best, but as you can imagine, I was like, because all my gigs, because my cash flow with me was okay. It was like going, I was like steady. I had 2020 weddings, and I feel sorry for my couples as well, because they've had their weddings basically not necessarily ruined, but they've actually moved into 2021, and then all these new government guidelines are like, you've got to only so many people are allowed, and then you've got to be 2 meters, you've got to be 1 meter, you've got to wear this mask, you don't have to wear a mask, you don't have to do this. And so, in my personal opinion, I don't believe in the mask situation, because my friend sent me a great picture, and I'll say that's my personal opinion. I'm not putting this on anybody. And if you've got an opinion of mask, it's a real thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the coronavirus isn't a real thing. It is happening. But what I mean is, he sent me a picture of masks with other different things, like going down the mines and doing all things, and they've got these big full-on face coverings with big gas things on, and we've got this little bit of cloth over our face, which is supposed to protect us from the world's deadliest virus. It's like, it just makes me think, hang about, is that right? And also, if it's that case, then why is there no biohazard bins for the masks to be put in? It's all little things like that which make me think, okay. But I'd say that's my personal opinion. I'm not putting that, and it is what it is. And
you've got to comment, put it below.
yeah, probably everybody's hating me saying, oh yeah, but again, I'm also on that high risk category, because I've got Wilson's disease, which is basically a rare build up in my liver. So I was supposed to be self-isolating and stuff like that. But what I was doing instead is I was basically just making sure my immune system was in full tip-top condition and keeping fit. I'm eating all the healthy, right foods. I'm doing Wim Hof breathing, which is fantastic. If you Google Wim Hof, guys, because Wim Hof actually got injected with a, I can't remember, you'll probably be able to find it on YouTube. He got injected with this disease years ago because he wanted to prove that his own, what's the word? What's the word you're looking for? My brain's gone blank. But his own body could basically fight it off.
Yeah, his immune system, yeah.
Yeah, his immune system, that's right. And then I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I started to do it. And literally, since I've been doing his breathing exercises and everything else, I haven't had a cold, touch wood. I haven't had any forms of illnesses. And even if I've been around somebody who's got like a bad cold, I haven't, because my immune system is strong enough to fight, hopefully, things off because I'm fit and healthy. And that's all you need to do is just keep yourself fit and healthy. But unfortunately, there's a lot of things going around with this. It's just a mix match of communications from like, do this, don't do this, do that, don't do that. What do you want? Wash your hands. You can go out, you can't go out. It's like that when that thing came on with the fella from Little Britain. He said, you can't go out, you can't go out. Make sure you don't go out, stay in. If you do have to work. And I was just like, that's it. It's the confusion tactics. Nobody's saying, this is what you need to do that, and then that's it. But I digress.
So how have you adapted then? Because you've still got to earn a living.
Yeah, so I set up my magic school, teaching online. Now, this was something which I've been talking about for about 4 years before COVID-19. So that's why I'm quite, in a way, that COVID came along, because it kind of forced me to pull my finger out and put it out there. So the reason I've done that is because when I was younger, I suffered with like bullying and stuff like that. And I think you know the story, but when I was 17, I actually tried to take my own life through bullying and stuff like that. So that's why then I was on this mad journey, because the cord which got put around my neck, which I put around my neck, snapped, and it doesn't snap because my dad went out there and checked it. He said, son, you're here for a reason. Because that cord doesn't snap. I remember telling you this story. And then I was like on this mad journey, and then that's when I found the NLP and the timeline therapy and hypnosis. And that's now when I help people with anxiety, fears, and phobias, because it is all in your mind. It's not, and I done it myself, and I cried 3 times on the course. And the reason I'm being so open and honest is because there are probably people listening here who are like suffering with anxiety and depression and all that. And that's what I do. I help people now to get rid of that, and that's something which I'm looking at doing as a separate business once all the COVID-19 hopefully sees its way and then disappears, hopefully, and then that's something else which I'm going to put on, because I do that anyway, just helping friends and family out, because I don't like seeing people suffer. And that was the reason why I set up my magic school, is because I wanted to give all ages from about 7 upwards is probably the ideal to do me magic course. It just gives you the confidence and the ability to basically learn a new skill for life, but also you'll be able to go up to anybody and break the ice with anybody, and just give you that inner confidence to basically think, wow, if I can do this, I can do anything. And that's one of the reasons why I set up the magic school, teaching online, so you can learn 15 magic tricks. Don't need any magical skills. You just need to be a little bit ambidextrous with your hands, but nothing major. And if I can do it, anyone can do it, trust me.
It's going really well, is that then, the magic school? You're happy with the results? I know you've not rushed it through, but you brought it forward from where you wanted it to be.
Yeah. So it took me. I didn't rush it, because it took me. I was filming it for about a month, filming all the bits, editing it and together, and making sure that the explanations were broken down. So it comes with a performance and then the explanation for it. And that's where I was going from doing it to then I thought, you know what, yeah, this is okay. Still a little bit rough around the edges, but I wanted it to be real. I don't want it to be like polished studio stuff, because then it's not real. And so I could have a green screen background now and be like, yeah, look at me, I'm playing amazing. But anybody that's seen me perform knows that's not me. I'm basically like one of your mates that does magic when I perform at gigs, as you know, Liam, because you've seen me at high-end gigs and stuff, and everybody always is remembering it for the right reasons, because it's just a laugh and it's just a load of fun. You can't not have fun when I'm in the room, because I won't allow it. And if you are a miserable person, then I will. Liam's vouched for this. I've seen this. I train this miserable person, and he says it himself. But he smiled, and I was like, "Oh, I can retire." And then he was laughing because I said, "I can retire. I've made them laugh." And then everybody knows, because he's known as the and that's just what I like to do. Bring joy to people and happiness.
What's this this dipping in cold water malarkey?
So that is, so for those of you that aren't following me on my Facebook, you can do. It's David Burgess, and the picture's the same as that. David Burgess Magician, David Magician. So I, based on Wim Hof again, and by the way, I'm not just for suing purposes and stuff like that. I'm not endorsed or associated with him whatsoever. All I do is I just do his teachings, which he's done off his app, and I've done them, and that's helped me. So it might not work for you. As I say, I'm nothing to do with him. I just do them for myself. But people ask me, so I tell them this is what I do. You can do it or you don't do it. It's entirely up to you. So I do his breathing techniques, and the reason I do that is because the cold is actually good for your cardiovascular system. And started off with cold showers, getting in them for about 30 seconds, literally go, and then when you control your breathing, so it's like, and you go into the cold knowing that you're going to go in. And then I eventually thought, I've got the sea, literally 5 minutes drive down the road. I know, I've got a great idea. I'll get up at 4:30 every morning on my own and go for a dip in the sea. And that's what I've been doing. And then the first time that I've done it, it's so surreal, because it really does clear your head, because it's hard to explain without you actually doing it. Now, there's some people watching this thinking, oh, it's dead cold. And I've had people who I've, shall we say, convinced to do it, but do it on themselves. And they've done it, and they've said, wow, David, you were right. I mean, I've had one of my friends who was very anxious, and she was like, and then I helped her to get over that and come in with me. And when she came in with me, she was like, wow, it was amazing. She said, oh, I was worried about it. I was worried about this. I was worried about that. Because you can literally make anything scary. I could worry about sharks. I could worry about jellyfish. I could have worried about fish, which might bite me. I could have stood on anything like glass. You know, all these things I could have told myself, which I did, by the way. Yeah. Actually, this is just in my head. None of this is real. So why am I stopping myself from doing anything? And on my vision board, don't know whether you can see that there. It says, everything you want is on the other side of fear.
Hey, good. Is that the motto that you live by, or you got any other things that you keep with you constantly?
I've got loads. Well, you got, and again, this is my app. This is if you've got an iPhone, I think it's on, I think Android. You know, if it's just come up, my voice and opinion matters. So this is to yourself, but this is the app, and it's called. That's what it looks like. That little. Yeah, you can see that. I am.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
So that basically is just for affirmations, which you say yourself. And I've got affirmations here. I am enough. I am happy. I'm healthy. And I constantly say to myself, and you've got to, because what's better, telling yourself something negative or telling yourself something positive? But what we do is we spend our lives, telling ourselves, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm this and that and that. Instead of saying, you're beautiful, you're lovely, you're amazing. And then you start to then believe it. And at first, it's hard, because you're like, if you don't believe it, so you can start off slow. So if you look in the mirror and you say, you can't say that I love myself, say, I'm starting to like myself. And then eventually you'll get to I love myself. Whereas then you'll be like me saying, yes, I'm here, hello. Da, da, da.
You must have a lot of gigs. You must have a lot of gigs booked up for next year. I mean, all these weddings and events that have been put back. You must be absolutely chocked. You must be so much looking forward to next year.
Yeah. I'm like that. I'm like counting the clock. I'm thinking, when's I'm like, come on. Because the thing with me is the way I work is my and like most of the great magicians they're all fantastic. All the people I'm associated with in the magician world, I think they're all great. But what I do is I take a 50% deposit and I take the balance 1 week before the date of the event. So as you can imagine, my cash flow was all right for 2020, and then all of a sudden it went, and I was like, oh no. So then I needed to set up my magic school. I've been doing little bits on the side with helping my friends with other things, you know, like sales type of things, just to keep the money and obviously the roof over our heads. And then fortunately, I was accepted for the bounce back loan and the grant things, which you know, the 3-month grants where you can get through. So that's keeping my head above the parapet, as it's known. And I've also got some garden gigs coming up as well. Like I've got one on Saturday and one on the day after. So I've got some coming in, and some weddings have been booking me as well, which has been fantastic. I'm also a little selfish plug. I'm actually on October the 2nd to the 4th in Birmingham, NEC. I will be there because it's the national wedding show, and they actually have amalgamated the two, because I was actually supposed to be in the Manchester one, but they've amalgamated them because obviously COVID. So there's loads of bride and grooms over there. If you check that out, post on my wall, but check that out and come and see me. Stand H20, I'll be on.
Stand H20. At some point. So you're excited about the future. It looks bright. What one thing have you learned in the last? Well, it's nearly 6 months.
Is that how long it's been? Almost.
It'll be. It was the second week in March. So by September, which is next week, it'll be 6 months.
It's fun. It's like a blink for my little boys. My little boys 1 in September. It's like you blink and it grows up. So the one thing I have learned is that so I've learned how to do. I've done so many courses. It's untrue. Like so many online courses. Like if anybody wants any help with Canva, I'm an expert in Canva. I can help with that. And also social media stuff. I've been doing that, although I've been lagging a little bit. I started a 100-day challenge.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that. I was doing it, and I think I got to day 9, and then thought, hang about, all my stuff requires me to actually have somebody physically in front of me. So I am going to start it again, but I have to learn some tricks which are more for camera tricks, you know, stuff where you go like, no, and all that. So that's been good. I've done a few Zoom parties as well.
Great.
So if anybody wants to inquire about a Zoom party, it'll be a bit more professional background than this. Don't you worry, I'll have me stands and everything. But again, it's just me for like an hour or 45 minutes, however long you want, just showing your friends and family across the world. I think I had about 150 people on one of the Zoom, because that's the beauty about Zoom and Facebook, is literally you can be streamed around the world. So they had family and friends around them. And they only paid the one price, and then they can just give the code out to whoever they wanted to. It doesn't faze me. You know, you can have 1,000 people on there for the fee if you wanted to. You know, sell tickets yourself, and then make your money back. It's £10. There you go. Get your tickets there.
That would certainly happen. Not to stereotype, but that would certainly happen in Merseyside, I'm sure. So where's ambition going to take you? I mean, let's look long term now. Where really do you want to be? So what I'm looking at now is I'm actually looking at possibly going in a different direction and incorporating the magic side into the helping people with like the NLP and the typing hypnosis, because especially with loads of people suffering more with mental health issues and stuff, because obviously a lot of people have lost their jobs, unfortunately, and there's also been a few people who are suffering with anxiety and depression because of the unknown. So if I want to do, I just want to help people tap into the back the way it used to be. So I'm looking at doing stuff like that. I've amazing gigs lined up in the future. The magic school, I'll possibly be looking at growing that, because I say that's all organically reached at the moment. I'm not pushing out in regard to marketing, but it will be soon. But yeah, other than that, just keep your brain active. Read loads of books on interesting stuff. There's a few books, if you're in business or you're not in business, I would suggest you can get. I will get them up on my Audible now, and then I'm sure the lovely Liam there will be able to put links in. Yeah, we'll link them up. Don't worry about that. So there's one which I just got put in touch with by somebody, and this is more for like business and in general, and it also in general. It's that one. It's called the Third Theory. Okay. Yeah.
That's one of them. Another one which was a game changer for me in regards to my business, and this is business related, by the way, guys. So if you are thinking, actually, this one more for people as well. This was another one which is just for general. That's another good one.
Courage
to be disliked.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean it teaches you how to be nasty to people and so somebody hates you. What it is, it's like a philosopher and a student, and the way the story goes, he's just calling it out, and it's a really good read.
Okay.
Two books which you need to get if you want to keep your head healthy.
Brilliant. Right. I mean, I haven't really asked you to be a performing monkey and do any tricks. You just do them anyway.
Oh, well, I'll show you one before you go, if you've got time. Before we leave, I'll close on this one. I'll just show you my nice new close-up mat as well. Ooh, look at this. Yeah, ignore the bag over there. Don't look at that. That's misdirection, by the way. I do want you to look over there. So this, can you see that thing?
Got you.
Okay, so I've got 4 sevens here. Now, this is an observation test. So there's the 4 sevens. If I click my fingers and give a little flick like that, one of the sevens should turn itself face up. And as you can see there, that's the 7 hearts. If I click my fingers again and do that, then the 7 of hearts jumps back, 7 of spades, and this time it's the 7 of diamonds. And watch, if I click my fingers again and do that, remember, I'm going to test your observation now, so I'm going to ask you a question, so make sure you're paying attention. There's the 7 of diamonds, and then this time it's the 7 of hearts. Now, Liam, do you remember the colour of the backs?
The colour of the backs, blue.
No, you see, you weren't paying attention because they were all red with a big black cross on them. I don't know how you missed that, mate. I'm sorry, you weren't paying attention. Now, a lot of people, Liam, after they've done that, they say, David, how did you do that trick?
Yeah, how do you do that trick, David?
I'm glad you asked, otherwise it would have been a long time. It's actually all done with mirrors, mate. It's actually all done with mirrors.
Incredible. Awesome. You can come again.
Thank you very much. Lovely seeing you, mate. Loving the beard.
Thank you, mate. I love having talked to you. We could talk forever. Honestly.
I know. Well, before this all began, guys, Liam said we've got half an hour. So I said, what did you say, an hour? And he said, no, half an hour. So I said, okay, I'll have to try and rein it in because I literally can talk for Britain.
We've had some conversations, you and I. Have a great day, mate. Thanks so much.
You too.
Yeah. And enjoy. And I'll put links to David's stuff below. Guys, see you next Wednesday. We're back on air. See you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.